a meeting of non-duality. And what the hell does that mean? So, do you believe that there's really a world of duality, or is that duality projected from us? Yeah. Do you really believe there's a world that goes this way and that way, or is it us seeing it that way? Yeah. So if we are the projection of duality, then our name is dualism, actually. A subject-object mix that's projected into the form of a dreaming, and that dreaming has a dualistic nature because what's projecting it is a dualistic nature. Yeah. So sometimes you're thought about as an object, sometimes you're the thinker, which would mean you're the subject. Happens all day, back and forth. And then we are the projection, or as they say in the Course in Miracles, we are the dreaming. And the Course says that the mind projects, and then we as the dreamt perceive. Yeah. And based on our splitness, we give a reality to the other splitness. Yeah. So in this case, the fish we're trying to catch isn't the point, is to reel in the line and see where it's coming from. Yeah. And to look just for 5 minutes, look at the head and see at one moment, are you cast as the thinker? And the next moment, are you cast as the thought about? Which one are you? Are you the thinker or the thought about? As a thinker, we try to work on our thoughts and think about other stuff. Yeah. As the thought about, we feel oppressed and judged and critiqued quite a lot by some fucking subject. Yeah. In one way, they call it dualism. So it's a mixture of the subject-object, and that projects what we call duality. And when we say non-duality, is really the non or the not subject-object. Yeah. So what gets negated isn't the world and the things in it, it's the idea of us. Yes. The you that's a long-lasting, independent, separate one thing with a dualistic complexion. Yeah. A huge activity of subject-object cast as a one in separate thing, which doesn't look like it's a two-ness, does it? So the body is a way of cloaking the activity of dualism with a singularity of how we appear as a body. But the activity all day is quite dualistic. Yeah. Don't you feel like something's talking about you? If you get dressed and you go to a party, do you feel people are thinking about you like you think about you? This is non-duality. It's not two. Yeah. It's not recognizing the one narrative of being the thief and then thinking you're moving to a better narrative of being the policeman. It's hearing something that doesn't come through those two horns. Yeah. Let's call it silence or whatever. But there is a solution, and there is an I am. And it's not after Paul, it's before Paul. Yeah. So Paul can only imagine it to be after Paul, because Paul is presented as the before, and that's the big mistake. Yes. For it to be before, it has to forget the before or ignore the before, and it's ignored it to such a point it's looking for it. after. So you're thinking you're going to become the beingness when you're being it already. Yeah. This is what they say. What's looking is what you're looking for. How much simpler do you need? Yeah. What's looking, we all have a sense of that, yes? Usually we call it a who's looking, but what's looking is what we're looking for. Who's looking seems to be definitely not what we're looking for, because we seem to be looking for a lot from the idea of who. But what's looking is what we're looking for. Yeah. Whatever can be perceived cannot be that which is perceiving. Well, we're off the game board. Yeah. Or basically, we're not playing the game. The action figure plays the game. The boot and the Monopoly board are synonymous. Yeah. There ain't no Monopoly board without the boot, and there's no boot without the Monopoly board. The boot is never going to transcend the Monopoly board. Yeah. What happens when you see you're not the boot? Yeah. Does the boot disappear? No. You see the boot, but you see it as not you. Yeah. And then that which was used to remind you of you will remind you of not you. Yeah. And it's almost as if you see a reverse image in the mirror and you see your original face, like they call it in Zen, which is no face at all. Yeah. The same mirror that was always being used to reflect the you is now negating that you it used to reflect. Yeah. What an incredible turnaround. That which is reinforcing the sense of what I'm not is now used to liberate you from the sense of what you're not. Yeah. By seeing what? I'm not that. Yeah. Whatever that activity is, whatever's implied, I'm not that. That's the end of the book. Yeah. It's not I'm not that, and then that, and that, and that. No. Eric asked me the other day, whenever, am I going to have to say I'm not that all day? No, you probably won't. It's going to be useful to a point, and then they'll be as convincing you're not that. Yeah. So if you see, you don't have to see every species of a cat to realize every species is a cat. Yeah. Of the cat, every little subgenre. You get a few examples, and then there's an expansion of it. Yeah. And now you're not saying shit. You're just walking around showing. You're not even showing up. You can't unshow up. Yeah. The idea of showing up is an expression of a misunderstanding that you're not showing up. You're here completely. Yeah. You may not be the way the head would like you to be appearing here may not be suitable or accepted to the head, but basically, if you look at the surveillance tapes, you've been all through your day. Yeah. So didn't you believe at one time that you were out of the moment, and it motivate you to be interested in buying a book about how to get into the moment? What else would motivate an interest in getting into the moment other than a belief that you could be out of the moment? Where would non-duality point to at that? Would it point to all the methods to get into the moment, or would it point to the veracity of the idea that you're out of the moment? It would question that. Yeah. And you would see you've never been out of the moment. So the drive to be in the moment would not have to be tamed, would not have to be corralled, would not have to have stop signs and obstacles in this way. There would be a loss of interest in it. Yeah. You would not spend another second trying to get into the moment. Why? Because it was super clear you've never been out of a moment. This is not a strange phenomenon. This is the logic of non-duality, as expressed here, as us. Yeah. You stop trying to get out of what you're not in, and you definitely will stop trying to get into which you're not out of. Yeah, it's just, and I'm telling you, that's huge. In some levels, peace isn't like a moving train. Peace, you can have a super clear, like, binoculars, but if it's on a shaky foundation, you're not going to see anything clearly. It's not saying the lens are dirty, it's just shaking. So all this coming and going and seeking and this and that are just movements that belie an underlying stillness. Yeah. And we're thinking we're going to use movement to arrive at stillness. That's insane. The only way movement will arrive at stillness is by failing us. And when we finally realize we're never going to get it, it has succeeded. Yeah. All the trips to arrive somewhere, greeted with the little sentence on having never left, their only value is the failure of it. Yeah. You fail to arrive at where you already are, and then it makes that you already are there fucking obvious finally. Yeah. That's its value. The value is not arriving. Because if you believe you arrive, you're going to believe you can leave. Yeah. And there's no peace in that. There's no peace in an arrival that has an opposite of leaving. In this case, you never arrive and you never leave. That nature, that inherent nature, does not come or go. So one gets cut out and the other one is seen to be super obvious. Yeah? So arrive away. Yeah? Practice away. It's the best, it's just like in AA. When people in recovery, a lot of people you meet, it would be a disservice to keep them from their bottom, because that's what's going to be essential for them. They're going to have to fail miserably to finally surrender. Yes? So all the failing, in a sense, like people in AA quite a lot have this incredible turnaround. They have an idea, and sometimes it's been fixed for quite a while, that something was the worst thing that ever happened to them. Yet, that worst thing that ever happened to them could have triggered a lifetime of recovery, so it was actually the best thing that ever happened to them. Yes? So as the Course in Miracles says, your greatest successes are your greatest failures, and your greatest failures are your greatest successes. Yeah? So try to get it. I would say there's 400 years of trying to get it in these Zoom boxes. Obviously, your showing up here implies you didn't get it. When does it get abusive? Literally. They need a committee. If someone's signing up for the 40th retreat, something is fucking wrong. Unless you like sitting on an ass for 12 or 13 hours. Something is freaking wrong, or you like the food, or the accommodations are better. That's why they have retreats in beautiful exotic places. Yeah. Because they're hoping it'll be like a vacation. But there's no committee to say, oh, Paul Hedderman has put its 40th application to go on another same retreat. I think we should deny. Yeah. We should give it the stamp of non-approval. That would be the best retreat you probably will ever go on is the last retreat. Because that's what it takes for some people, is to go to retreats. And then it finally hits them. Something's not working. Yeah. How could they have gotten there any other way? So it's like fucking fire away, use all your spiritual arsenal, and then come back and tell me how it went. I'm sure you're going to tell me, I ran into so many amazing things, to the point the word amazing doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, I've listened to people tell me 300 times in this life the new amazing thing or the new amazing person or the new amazing technique, and it only leads to another new amazing thing. Yeah. When does it stop? So I feel humbly, if the idea what's looking is what you're looking for lands, there's going to be a severe diminishment of looking for. It's a pretty good diagnosis. Yeah. If what's looking is what you're looking for and you are what's looking, I'm telling you, the biggest hit is going to be taken in the looking for. Yeah. And when without the looking for, there's not a you in a sense. Yeah. The you comes after the looking for, but is presupposed to be before the looking for. You want to see the emperor with no clothes? Stop the looking for. You'll have a GoPro in the closet. You'll see it. You'll see the emperor with no clothes, and you'll see it put some clothes on. Yeah. We were talking about it last night. It's a terrible example, but it's the one that worked. I was like 11 or 12 years old, probably 12, 13, and I saw my mother, my Catholic mother, with a Catholic Irish grandmother, and I saw her naked in a weird position, which I had never seen my mother naked. And I saw way too much of my mother naked in like a second or two. And you know what? Every time I saw my mother for quite a while, I saw that picture of her nakedness. This is sort of like the message, yes? You see the emperor with no clothes, and then when it's wearing all this clothes, you see the emperor has no clothes. You do not need to see the emperor naked to know it has no clothes. You now see the emperor full regalia, and you know it has no clothes. That's the message. Yeah. It's not a peak experience. It's an ordinary dog shit awareness. No matter what the fucking thing is wearing, it's naked. Yes? Yeah. Now, in time, it may rush up on you. You may come to it. Who knows? Yeah. But inevitably, the infinite is always going to win out with a race with the finite. Yeah. It's never going to lose. So you can have an ease and comfort because no matter what, and if you seem finally to arrive, it tells you on having never left. So there was never any point you were ever missing any fucking thing. When you arrive in this little non-duality trickery, it tells you on having never left. Yeah. You have always been that which you seem to arrive at. It tells you that. Nothing else says that. The head tries to repeat something all day to make you a historical thing, but this takes 1 second and you're convinced for a long fucking time. So here we are. That's all I got. I just try to. This is pretzel logic. I was in a pretzel form, and then that pretzel form, that yogic posture relaxed and it stretched out and took another form. Let's say a formless form. So I can tell you about the pretzel form because I'm not in the pretzel form right now. And I'm telling you, you're not in it. Yeah. Even though you're taking yourself to be a pretzel, you're not. Yeah. And time and space is not necessary. Time and space is an expression of something that's already so. Yeah. You never wake up to awakeness. You wake up from the trance of selfing, basically. The seeming unawakeness is what you wake up from. You don't awake into awakeness. You are awakeness, yeah? You awake from the seeming sleep. That's it, yeah? And what you awake to has always been a way. So it didn't come about by anything you did. You fell upon it by realizing what you're not. Yeah. If you have any sense of being a slacker, this is the way. The slacker way is no way. Yeah. And it's no way, Jose. It's way. So happy to be here. I'm on the iPad again. I keep trying to hit a key and there's no key. Because we're habitual little fucking repeating. We see only the past activities. That's what we are. The action figure is like a spacesuit. Yeah. And the brain is part of the spacesuit. And the brain interprets everything to the spacesuit. And we are what seemingly inhabits the spacesuit, but we are not the spacesuit. Yeah. We are I am. We are not I am Paul. Yeah. So there you go, Kathleen. I just felt like it was an extension of Doylestown. I still feel I'm giving the talk in Doylestown. 12 hours. Yeah. Nice to see you, Zoe. Nice to see everybody. Anybody have any questions or shares? I want to say what I did last night for anyone who's somewhat new, just for the clinical way of looking at it. Is this what's happening now? Is there a quality of time and space in this event? Does it feel like there was a previous moment and there's activity now that represent the present moment, and there's going to be activity in the future that's going to represent the present moment in the future? Yes? How could any of this stuff happen unless there was space for it to appear? Yes? So time and space. So the action figure is of time and space. Yeah? It takes up space and it takes time to take up that space. Yeah. As Jesus says, you're in this world. So this world is of time and space, of things, yeah, of emphasizing some shit and not emphasizing others. And then he says, feels like to be in the world. And then he greets that with a negation. You're not of the world. It's beautiful, beautiful technique. Everyone has a feeling of what it's like to be in the world. Everyone. So that becomes that you become immediately familiar, and then it's presented with the negation. You're not of the world. Hallelujah. Eh? What a beautiful way. What do we do here? We describe the head and its activities, the claiming of the conscious contact, and then turned into a mental apparatus to reinforce this fucking idea that the brain keeps interpreting everything to, which is the body. Not only a body, but an existing body. Yes? We'd say it over and over again. Everyone's familiar with it. You may not know it, but when you hear it, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? When you hear the descriptions of how the head works, it sounds familiar because you've been seeing those head works. Yeah? So there's the familiarity, and then you're greeted with, you're not that. Yeah? Negation is not a new pointing. First, we all agree on the familiarity, and then it's all negated. Hallelujah. Eh? It's not all negated. Actually, it's surgically negating the idea of you. That's it. Yeah. As Buddha said, events happen, deeds are done. No negating that. Events happen, deeds are done. Here comes the negation, but there's no individual doer thereof. Wasn't that a surgical target? No argument. Events happen. Deeds are done. They're going on seemingly, but the argument is there is no individual doer thereof. Wow. So when something claims the doing to imply a doer, there's not that. Yeah. And I just learned, someone helped me see the activity in the head, that when there's an action, something claims that action to imply an actor. That whole process that goes on over and over again has just been negated by the great godfather of it all, Lord Buddha. Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, he said it. Events happen, deeds are done, but there's no individual doer thereof. Whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. So go in your head. How does the head see the perceiving? It says the perceiving as the perceived, yes? So the object is seen in the head to be that which is perceiving. A great clear master, Huang Po, negated that. He said, whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. What? Yeah. Do you see the sword is sharpened with the knot, the N-O-T, yes? That's what cuts through everything. Not affirming something from a point of a mistake, but negating the mistake that starts all of the misunderstandings. That's the sharpness of the sword, is the N-O-T, not non-duality. Yeah. So you present the familiar, and then there's a negating of the central preoccupied center of all that story, which is you. Yeah. Finally. Not talking about changing anything, change your morals, change your behaviors. If those are necessary, you'll find probably things to do that. It's just looking at one point, and it's the point of ownership, doership, seership, hearership. And it's questioning that to an extinct level, not. It says, oh, it's bad, but it can become, it wavered, but now not. N-O-T. It's a negation. It's greeted with a negation, and then it's seen as what you're not from there on. Yes? Non-duality is learning the correct greeting to what's happening, which is not. We've been living from the greeting of it's about me. No, it's not about you. We see it in recovery all the time. People believe they are their own worst enemy. They believe they hate themselves. That's not. What hates you is not you. Your worst enemy may seem to be where you are, but it's not of you. Yeah? It's a mental activity that we breathe life to all day. So this isn't concentrate and gaze and surgically laser-like view to see what you are. It's seeing what you're not. Yeah. And when you see the activities that are used to imply you greet it with, I'm not that. Yeah. Maybe you do it casually throughout the day, like the Course in Miracles would always suggest. When you do a lesson of the Course in Miracles, you do it in a relaxed, fucking non-serious manner mostly, yes? You don't focus it. The focus is the problem. Yeah. Here you go. Watch the same shit that you thought was you, talking you all day, or you doing whatever it was doing, and now you greet it with a healthy suspicion. Yeah. And what happens? The interested attention that was being funneled right through us to that distribution gets stopped. Yeah. And now the interested attention goes somewhere else that may put your day into AWE. It may produce a lot of freaking gratitude. I know it's going to allow a traveling lighter through whatever life has in store for the spacesuit. Yeah? Because when the spacesuit is threatened, what's in it may not be threatened. We live like we're a piece of iron in a world of magnets. We're always the front door. No, we're not. We are like the sky, unblemished by everything that appears in it. 4th of July explosions never rent the sky open. It's like a screen in a movie. Any kind of movie doesn't leave a mark on the screen. Yet without the screen, there'd be no movie. Yes? When the movie's playing, you don't notice the screen, do you? Really? You don't sit there going, oh, screen, screen. You get involved in the fucking movie. And in that involvement, you forget the screen. You're into the whole activity. Guess what? There we are. Yeah? Now, do you want to start trying to concentrate with the screen? Why not just see you're not the character that's absorbed in the movie? That's all. Use the absorption of the movie, which hasn't moved by all of your fucking practices. Use it to negate it. Yes? Instead of trying to deny it and change it, because has that worked? Doesn't your attention always be pulled into the movie? Why not just see you're not the character of the movie? Yes? And then enjoy the show. You're telling me, I bet you not 1 second does the screen come in your mind when you're watching a good movie. Probably not. Well, this is what happens for many people in a whole life. Not once did they recognize the screen. Yeah? We've been given a great gift, the message of non-duality. We don't need to constantly say screen, 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 screen. We can use our own appearance and negate it. It's fucking beautiful. Yeah? And this is how a solution appears in a dualistic manner. You use the same aspect that was making the problem to become the solution. Yes? How much has the head reinforced its idea in your life? All fucking day. We're using the same material, but we're using it as a negation of the premise or that singular identity. And you know what? It's no matter how much it's been reinforced, it always has a weak foundation. One little bit of truth can knock it over. Yes? Non-duality, its greatest punches are either 5 words or less. And the whole Tower of Babel collapses. This isn't like you're moving a fucking mountain. So the same shit that was just always assumed to be about you is now questioned. Hallelujah. Nothing else actually changes. Well, a lot of shit changes. You stop trying to affirm it and make it better and try to change it or win it over or discipline it or try to give it away through devotion of another fucker or something. No, it doesn't. You just use the same information that reinforced the false idea to negate the false idea. How more efficient can you be? The same thing that produced the shit, you're using it to find the gold. I mean, I don't see anything as efficient as this. Yeah. You stop using the after to know the before. You know from the before the after. That's it. Yes. And way people of non-duality, Ramana Maharshi, he doesn't say reality is a goal that we're going to arrive at or a place that we've left and that we have to make amends. Ramana says being ourselves reality. That sounds like a present tense condition, yes? What moment of being are you not being ourselves reality? Tell me one. Give me one. One example. Then why are we trying to be ourselves reality? If we're being ourselves reality, what the hell are we doing? Why are we trying to become mindful if we're mindful? It's redundant. It's like getting a book, 900-page book on consciousness when you're conscious. Why the fuck do you want to read about what you are? I'd much rather hear about what we're not, so I stop falling into that mistake over and over, or seemingly fall in. I can never fall into mistake because I'm before the mistake. It can only appear in time that the mistake is true. It's never been true. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be denied and made untrue. You just see something. Yeah. And I believe the awareness won't be blurred with a clear non-duality understanding. I don't. Yeah. I think it allows the awareness not to get sullied by what it's coming through. Yeah. And then you'll see the misunderstandings that we have been made out of this action figure. Yeah. So I'm stoked, man, completely. Yeah. If one person was here, I'd talk. I'm not in the outcome business. I don't give a shit. It's pointless. I don't know what's best for you. I don't know really any of that. Yeah. If you want to get fucked up, get fucked up. You want to meditate, great. Transcend. I've seen some very holy people. Yeah, they can warm their bodies without having a parka, but I have a Mountain Hardwear insulated jacket. Why do I want to warm myself with super concentration? I just put on the down jacket. I'm warm. Yeah. Whatever goes up comes down. So let's see what's down. Yeah. Yeah. So all right.
So Paul, David down under has his hand raised.
David, down under. He doesn't actually have his hand raised. It's the vertical. It's the virtual hand.
That's true.
One drag about the virtual hand. In live meetings, people will finally put their hands down, but the virtual hand can stay up for hours.
Hi, everybody. Paul, I just want to thank you again. I think you've probably heard me say over the journey that I've been coming to the Zooms that every now and again it seems like for me a little penny drops, or you say a little gold nugget that works for me. And last week, I'm pretty sure you said that I might have the words wrong, but the mind's always trying to rationalize. You said that, I think, yeah? Something like that. Well, anyway, sorry, go.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, well, anyway, that was a real little penny drop for me, because I sort of went home or like a short time afterwards or whatever, I realized that's what's always going on inside here. And it like just like it's just constant, always like you did this. If you had done this, that would have worked. Oh no, you shouldn't have done it. You did it right, left, right, like all over the place. And just I've had the most beautiful week this week, because when that, for whatever reason, when that started happening up here, I'm seeing it like well, what I'm not or whatever what I am is seeing it straight away, and it just sort of fizzles out straight away. Yeah. And there's no thinking about it. There's nothing going on. And I had my hand up for a little while, and I was going to say sort of what I just said, but then you spoke a bit more, and I thought, I wonder if that's sort of because what we are is always rational. It doesn't have to be rationalizing all the time, you know, like it, would I be correct in saying that sort of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, but that was the nice penny drop for me. Like there's been a few over the last couple of years, but that was a nice one. Like
Great.
whatever.
There's more coming. There's always pennies from heaven, remember.
Yeah. But
Seriously.
it's just it's been the most beautiful week. I've done nothing different. It's like I'm not living what you'd say the most exciting life. I haven't been doing much, but there's been a lot of no thought going to everything I've done this week, and everything's been really nice. Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. Yes.
So thank
You
you
know, it's
again.
hard to entertain something you've never had a free sample of. So you start having free samples, and then some galvanized things called possibilities become possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is sort of how the traveling light builds momentum. Traveling light.
I think over the years, I don't like to look back much anymore, but I think I did have some free samples, but I never recognized them.
That's right. This is the thing. You did recognize them, and then something covers it up. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That's the dilemma. There's a lot of when you have an aha, that's not new knowledge coming in. That's knowledge already there getting rang. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have an aha, it's already there. It was purposely unnoticed by the head. And then something triggers it and you get an aha. And it's like an echo of something that's been already playing in there. Yeah.
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 It's been a nice week when those things when that's come up. It's like what I am can see the two things going on. It's just sort of looking at them, you know, and not taking much notice. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So
I'm very happy for Dave. I'm happy because really, for us to entertain things, we need a taste of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
In most cases. And so this is what happens in recovery when people do service. They don't know what it's like to be outside that orbit of self-centeredness. Yeah. They just don't know what it's like. And so they're only using the tools that keep you in the self-centeredness, which is thinking about it and shit. And they think reading another non-duality book's going to help, when actually going to a soup kitchen would do a whole lot more, because the action of service would pull out the attention out of that orbit, and you'll get that umbilical cord goes with that attention, and you get a hit of what it's like to be available and present.
Yeah.
And that little taste is all you need to picture the whole fucking pie. But without a taste, you're going to get bread and fucking water every day.
Yeah. You only need a little taste. I think I said you a couple of weeks ago, there was a period in my life where I was a big book reader for knowledge, you know? And then the other week I went out and bought that Ramana Maharshi book, just because you guys, people have mentioned it in here and you've mentioned it. Anyway, I opened it up and I read the first page, and I forget what it said, but his little quote or whatever on the first page, really, it was like, yeah, oh yeah, that really hits home. That's yeah. And then I sort of proceeded to read the rest of the book, and I gave up after 2 pages. It was like, oh, I don't need to read it. And then, the funny thing is, Paul, because you guys in here have mentioned A Course in Miracles a lot, right? I looked it up, like I went to a couple of bookshops to try to find it after I worked out which one was the original one, because there's about 20 different versions of it now. Yeah. I thought, I don't want one of them. But I couldn't get it when I went to the first bookshop, and I went to the second bookshop and I couldn't get it. Went to the third bookshop, couldn't get it. Came back home, looked on the internet, there it was on Amazon. And then by the time I got to that, I went, oh, I don't really want it now. I hear as much as I need to hear off you guys. Like I don't need to read the book, you know. I'd
That's
rather
good.
watch. I'm watching Sweet Tooth on Netflix at the moment, and I'd rather do that. I'm just like chilling out watching a kid show, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
you're on to
Anyway,
something. You're on to something. Yes.
yeah.
Very
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, to
Thank you
everybody.
for
I do love coming here because one of the things I do love is, and I'm yapping on a bit, but when other people talk, it's like it's that one that you've said when you did all the AA stuff and you first realize everybody's got the same shit going on. And that's what I do love it in here because you go, oh, it makes you not feel so alone, like you're the only one in the world that's going on with. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's what satsang is, the association with truth. Yes. So yeah, here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to, if I had enough money, I'd share this all plane tickets to come out here so I could really meet you. But I don't know if that's been a bit selfish. I don't know. I've got to work that out. I've got to rationalize that.
Well, you can come here and meet me.
Oh, you know what is a funny thing? I'm such a scaredy cat in life, or perceive I always have been. I've never been on a plane.
Oh,
And
oh,
the reason being is when I was
uh,
a young guy, I'll just be really quick. A guy was importing planes into Australia. They're called Lancers. There's a kit. They're a kit plane. Anyone can build them. And I hung around building planes with him for about 3 years, and I saw the shoddy workmanship that goes into building planes, and
yeah,
so it sort of scared me off. I never want to
yeah.
be in one, you know.
That's maybe wise. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah, I'm
love
gonna have to.
Australia. It's just we went there just before the pandemic last time, and
Yeah,
then it hasn't been. Yeah, but whatever. All right, thanks, brother. Nice to see you as always.
yeah,
Yeah,
and same to everybody else. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kathleen,
Yes,
anyone?
Paul? Yes,
Anyone else?
no one
Question?
has their hand raised. Anybody have anything they would like to talk to Paul about? Hmm. I just came home yesterday and plugged my car in. That's what I want to talk about.
uh, well, call me up and I'll talk to you about it tomorrow, honey. You know, those people, Mia and David and my friend Christian are coming tomorrow morning. So I'm going to drive up to Great Barrington.
Great,
Yeah.
great, Barrington. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll say goodbye soon. Oh, we can just sit here. If someone's new, I just want to put out something simple. Just to see if you reckon, just some of the things we say, I hope will lead you to watch stuff, yeah, in your own activity or in the activity that is happening. And this thing was said in certain ways. I remember I ran into a book called Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism when I was young by a guy named Trungpa Rinpoche. And at the beginning of the book, he said, basically, the most important thing, he says, really, you need to know this thing that the ego is going to take advantage of everything that is brought into contact with. Yeah. Now, that point proved to be super true with me. Yeah. And then I saw another part of it, which is it's mechanical. There isn't you doing it. Yeah. Because a lot of people get the first part, but they think they're doing it somehow. Yes. You're not doing it. So it's mechanical. So sometimes you have a revelation
That's a beautiful, clear revelation, and could have been the period put on all the sentences. Yet when all this aspect of you that you're not doesn't change a lick, there's a denial or a disqualifying of the evidence, the unbelievably clear evidence that you are not becoming awake, you are awakeness. Yeah. Because this misunderstanding that all of these activities going on where we're sitting are ours and we're the doer of them. That is not true. So when something is seen by you, it may not be seen by you, so to speak. Do you know? And so I hadn't heard that one. And then I watched people when they heard that the movement of the head is claiming, there would still be a sense of guilt and volition and a drive to do something about it. These statements are not meant to drive you to do something about it, unless you're driven to do something about it to see how bad it fails, and it will work that way. But basically, that's not the intent. It's just to observe it with the idea it's not you. Yeah. So it's disarming, not a call to arms. And this claiming, I feel, is faster than anything, any process that starts and ends in time to me. Yeah. I just don't think any process that comes after can get before this process. Because whatever process comes after, you'll feel like you're a self doing it. Yeah. So the infection from the first process travels through the other process you do. And now whatever you're doing to get in or out, you're already in an idea that you're not even of. Yeah. And I humbly believe that's why nothing will work except for failing us. That's how it works. Because we have to see, if we don't see it, we're looking from it. Yeah. We're looking from the idea of being a self. We're not seeing the idea of being a self. Yeah. So that's why nothing has changed much in Zen Bitsla for many years, because something told me, and I haven't gotten any new orders, that if you don't see this shit, you're going to be looking from it. And then what's the point? It's just more cannon fodder. Yeah. It's more gas to burn the hell out of you. Yeah. Yeah. Self-knowledge is dangerous. Knowledge of self is valuable. Self-knowledge becomes dangerous. Yeah. But knowledge of self is valuable. So knowledge of self is seeing the selfing and not looking from the self. Yeah. The only thing that you can really see is selfing. You never see the self. That's always implied because there isn't one. You actually play the role of the self's appearance. All you actually see in the head is selfing. Yeah. That's all. You never see the self because you're looking from it. You are representing the idea of self as a body. So we're trying to study something to get ahead of it already behind it. Yeah. Yeah. So first get something clear. It's selfing. It's a verb. And there's no nouns to be found in this whole event. They are made up. Yes. It's verbing. It's selfing. And the selfing implies there's already a self. That's what it does. Yeah. And if you believe that you as self are selfing, you're an example of that winning equation at the moment. Yeah. And of course, then you want to get out of what you're not in or get into what you're not out of. So, all right. Thank you, Kathleen, so much. It's such a pleasure. And people like the Rice Krispie shit.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Yeah. I've been bartering with it. I picked up some good shit trading for Rice Krispie treats.
That's right. It's gold, you said. Like gold.
Yeah, I did it today. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Kerry. The Hawaiian trickster. Yeah. 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 Spot on, brother. Always nice to see you. We have Betty. Nice to see you, Betty. I can't see you well, but nice to see you. We got Andy S. He's looking like he's almost horizontal, just barely. Yeah, there he goes. Nice to see you, Andy. We got Mike G and San Clemente. We got Zoe. And nice to see Zoe. Yeah.
Good to see you. I'm back in Arkansas.
Wow.
Have major jet lag.
Wow. Are you there for a while or?
For like 6 weeks, and then I go back. I have to take care of some stuff here, but yeah, so that's how I got to get on tonight. But it's like, I'm so freaking tired. And yeah, I was like, my head just keeps wanting to go down.
Go to sleep.
But you know, this message, and it's like you said, it's the same thing always, but it's brand new every time. and it's the most beautiful message ever. I just, yeah, like you said, you can say a couple of words and it just blows everything to smithereens. Being, you know, why not question where you're starting from? You know, it's like that whole thing. That's what's been hitting me today. I was listening to you this morning, and just why not question where you're looking from? You know,
Yeah.
that whole thing. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thank you so much. And I was going to chime in with David from Down Under. Yeah, I used to love to read books, you know, just devour them. It was more knowledge, more knowledge, more knowledge. And then when this message hit, I couldn't read. I was about to do this other inventory. I couldn't write anymore. It just like total loss of interest in it all. And it's so fantastic. So
Good, great.
thank you. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good, yeah. Thank you. Yes. John in Florida. He's another man of my own heart. There he is. Nice to see you, John. We won't be on tomorrow. The recovery meeting isn't going to happen, but Saturday will. Yeah, and then we'll start. We'll have the same schedule next week. It's, you know, the regular schedule, but Thursday recovery won't be happening. Yeah. All right. Great. William Stamps. Nice to see you, my friend. We got our friend Terry from Camarillo. We got who is this? Amelia's. Wait a minute. Amelia's iPhone. Oh, she's got an audience there, and there's the dog. The whole crowd is there. We adopted Everett, an orphan. Yes, he's bigger than we thought he was going to be, but it's too late. We signed the papers. There's dog Lola, very nice, and someone else is there. It can't be Mia. Oh, it's Noah. Oh, all right, great. Yeah, you can put the volume on. Say something. Hey, you look really comfortable in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, it was like my mother used to say, it's like you never existed, Paul. How true she was, really.
No, honey, that is not possible. That is really not possible.
You're all over this space.
Hey. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for enjoying the nice atmosphere. Everett, my orphan son.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. How did you do good? Did you do good in school today?
I did. I went up to the top of a hill. It was great.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
The very top.
Well, try to go up a bigger hill tomorrow, my son. Okay, Everett.
or perhaps a
Amelia,
pit.
don't adopt any more people.
I can't help it, honey.
Lola
I-
keeps bringing them
People
home.
people keep on knocking at the
know.
door. What am I
I know.
supposed to do?
As I
I don't
leave, remember the
Huh?
old, when the cat's away, the mice will play.
Yeah, especially
I
the one
know.
last night. Especially
see.
the one from last night.
Don't get too comfortable there, Nora, and hide the remote. Don't let them find the remote.
There's no internet, so we can't do the remote.
Oh,
There's no internet.
Otherwise, we would have
remember I
done a
pulled-
romantic comedy in your absence.
I pulled the plugs when you left. When I left.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys. Such a pleasure. I'll call you, honey.
Okay, hon. I'm here.
Bye bye. David down under, fantastic. Shannon Corkery. There you are. It's weird in this iPad. I can't see everyone. Oh, I got him. Alan Olson. Yep, nice to see you. We've got Mia. Where the hell is Mia? In the airline? She's at the airport. Holy cow. Or they have Zoom in first class.
You know, it's trains, planes, and automobiles day. On having never left, coming over to the East Coast. Can't wait. Thank you. What a beautiful, beautiful feeling. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah,
See you.
a good
Thank
team.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
All right.
Thank you.
Susanna W, some phone numbers. We got Ben, Amelia, the love of my life. Shannon Corkery, you look like the wind blew you in or something. That's interesting. Yeah, you're all right? Yeah? Okay. All right. Hey, listen, thank you. Another day. All right. See you. Bye-bye. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody. Thanks for all the
Thank
share.
you.
Bye, honey.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Hi, Amelia, Noor.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Helping.
Bye.